everybody says, do all this planning and then don't be afraid to deviate from it once you've got going. But I can totally see, like, just from 2 days worth of work between me and Peter, we've taken this pile of good ideas and we've made it into a story. And it is like, I can see it, I can kind of see it unfolding. I can see the relationships. We've even better defined the relationships between the characters. Like, we have these two women who are a couple, and it wasn't until we were working out the stories like, oh, they're not a couple at the beginning of the show. In fact, that's like kind of an underplot throughout the whole thing. They're secondary characters, but their will they won't they is also like a growing arc to the season, which was like so exciting to figure out.
As we've we've talked a bunch about finding your characters, which every writer does, of like the characters will tell about themselves to the writer. That we have, like, you've got these two characters that you came up with, and you're like, okay, that'll be nice for them to be a couple. But it's not until like we sit with them and we find out, like, well, why are they? Oh my God, they're not a couple yet. Oh, we get to see that happen. Yeah. Oh, now we're really into their lives.
Oh, because we need plots, and this part of their not getting together and then getting together are like a ton of plots. Yeah. Let's use it.
So they went from like a couple that you told me about that you created that were sitting back here in the room and said maybe a couple of funny things, to all of a sudden they're actually a major part. And it was almost like we didn't like plan any of that. Like it's like they stepped forward and said, like, we got a story to tell? Oh, cool.
Yeah, and then like, before our eyes it was like, well, this is true.
Yeah. And it started to unfold of like, where did this one come from, and how did they grow up, and what were their parents like, and what's the family?
And it's all because we needed these characters to do things.
Yeah.
And then like through what they do, you can figure out even the other secondary characters. I feel like a lot of the work we did, because a lot of the work up to now was focusing on our main two characters. And then a lot of the work we did this week was like, well, why are these other characters there? What do they do? Oh, they do this. They're an obstacle this way. They're an opportunity this way.
Some of it's form and function, where you're like, oh, I can plug that guy in here. We'll make him this guy.
Yeah.
Just because you need something there.
And like we talked about the bad guy, or not the bad guy, but the kind of protagonist a couple weeks ago, who is like an amalgamation of several annoying people that we know, and it's delicious to write him saying horrible things. But it is also like he has a narrative function of being in the way, being kind of a tempter to David when David is floundering, and then like there's purpose to everyone. The more that you've been
digging into that, he's gone from like a swirly mustache Billy Zane to like an actual character that like, oh, now I'm interested in who he is.
Yeah, and in season 2 he might even have an A story.
If he plays his cards right.
Yeah, because now he's a real person. He's not just like an obstacle. Because he does.